Yesterday, Team USA and the Czech Republic had their hearts torn out.
Taylor Hall taps it home, and Canada has a 1-0 lead.
And the U.S.'s valiant effort is going to come up short.
Today, both sides get resuscitated to pour their hearts out again. Gold is gone, but there's still much to play for. Some might call it consolation, but don't tell that to the host Czechs, as an aging star still shining bright plays his final game at the Worlds. Don't tell that to the young Americans, as a budding star starting to twinkle plays his final game before draft day. Yes, there is much to play for. The Czech Republic, Team USA, going for bronze at the Worlds. Gorgeous day in Prague and the Czech Republic. Here it is, final day. 2 games, bronze medal game, gold medal game, gold medal game. Pre-game show starts in 4 hours on TSN. Lots of those around. Jaromir Jagr jerseys. There he is. Maybe which one's going to... yeah, that's the one right there. Jaromir Jagr, the oldest player in the tournament, has been outstanding. Thomas Plekanec from the Montreal Canadiens comes over. There's the young guy, Jack Eichel. And another young guy, Connor Hellebuyck. The Americans trying to bring back a bronze medal. Team USA against the Czech Republic, the host Czech Republic. Hi, everybody. I'm Rod Black along with Bob Airy. So glad you've been with us for this entire journey. Here it is, the final day. And a bit of a warm-up for the gold medal game later in this game we have right now.
Well, you got to be fired up for this one. The hockey players are. There certainly was disappointment after yesterday's results for these hockey teams, the Czech Republic and Team USA. The Czech Republic had it going, Rod. They just couldn't finish it off.
Both these teams lost in shutout fashion. Team USA to Russia, Czech Republic to Canada. Again, Canada, Russia, the gold medal, 2 o'clock Eastern. Pre-game show on TSN4 across the entire network, 45 minutes later. But first up, the bronze medal game. To Prague we go. Gord Miller and Ray Ferraro.
Well, we know this game means a lot to the Czechs. They're playing for a medal on home ice. It's almost certainly Jaromir Jagr's last game in a Czech national team uniform. But for Team USA, how do the Americans press the reset button?
I think it's actually probably easier than if they had a team of established NHL players. We talked about the fact that there's many players that the U.S. asked to play that just didn't want to come and play. So they have a young, energetic group of players who have really punched above their weight in this tournament. I was really impressed with their effort yesterday in the 4-0 loss to Russia. After 2 periods, you could say that the Americans had every bit as good a scoring chances as the Russians did. So it'll be easier for them to wash it away and just come and try and win a bronze medal today. There's a lingering sense of disappointment when you're an older guy. Maybe that weighs a little more heavy on you, but Connor Hellebuyck is back in goal. Dylan Larkin and Jack Eichel were terrific up front for the U.S. yesterday. Seth Jones was very good as well. So you've got a group of young guys that just kind of throw it to the wind and play. I think they'll play well today.
U.S. has a chance to win a bronze medal for the 2nd time in the last 3 years. The last 3 U.S. medals in the World Championship have been won in overtime or a shootout.
So what you're saying is an overtime or a shootout could happen. The Czechs won a bronze in 2012, the gold in 2010. So I know they were gutted yesterday. So tough to get this thing right there, that ring. That's what you play for. How do you play for a bronze medal?
Well, it's better than the ribbon, 4th place. Nobody wants that. You can ask both these hockey teams. Jaromir Jagr came back from retirement. Yeah, he wanted gold, but he knew it was a tall mountain. Kukal thought he had the 2-1 goal against Mike Smith and Canada. Disappointment, yes. Jagr didn't like it. I can understand it. It was a tough call for the Czech Republic. Team USA, we're in it against Russia until the 3rd period. Wojciakin. 3 minutes later, Ovechkin. And their hopes of gold had gone away, but you cannot let that disappointment get to you. And certainly for Team USA, all they have to do is go back to last year, their disappointment in the bronze medal game against Finland in Sochi. And that would left a sour taste in their mouths. I can't see it happening again today.
The story for the Czech Republic has been Jaromir Jagr. Minus the mullet, he still keeps on going. The oldest player, he'll play in his 80th World Championship game today.
43 years of age. That's how old he is. Jaromir Jagr, 6 goals in 9 games in this World Championships. He's been absolutely incredible, folks. He's playing like he did 10 years ago. It's really been, to me, outstanding, astounding, any of the superlatives you can think of, Rod. This guy has found the fountain of youth.
He has had more comebacks than Sugar Ray Leonard. Last year we said that was it, but he says this might be it, but let's put that on hold for now. From the oldest to the youngest, Jack Eichel has also been outstanding.
Yes, and he is, I don't know if he's surprised you and I, but he's surprised the hockey world, I believe. He's shown that he can play in the National Hockey League right now. There's a game-winning goal against Slovakia. This guy's got great vision, great edge work, the curl and drags, the passing, the vision. He's got it all. If he goes to Buffalo,
He's going to Buffalo.
Sabres fans, you got to be excited, elated. With this Jack Eichel, he can play. Hobey Baker winner and 6 points in his last 7 games. He just looks so ho-hum out there. He's got the confidence.
The rosy cheeks.
What a great hockey player.
Yeah, he's a young gun. Speaking of young guns, how about the goaltender as well for Team USA? Here are our starting goalies, brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Connor Hellebuck, he's been the talk of Team USA throughout this tournament. Didn't get it done yesterday, but they've rode him right to this bronze medal game. And Andrei Pavlik, there's his career at the Worlds. Winnipeg Jets, both of them.
Yeah, there it is. The present and future, perhaps, of the Jets in net. There's Jakub Voracek of the Flyers and Seth Jones, Team USA, top defenseman last year. A lot of NHL connections, like that little bat right there.
Basketball, baseball, hockey, he's got it all.
Bronze medal game still ahead.
The 2015 IIHF World Hockey Championship from Prague and Ostrava, Czech Republic is brought to you by RBC. Proud to support hockey in Canada to help more kids reach their someday. By Imperial Oil. The Esso brand is the proud sponsor of Hockey Canada and Team Canada. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. And by TELUS, the biggest fans of Canada's biggest game.
Anymore. Canada, Russia.
Yes, we should. Crosby. Alexander
that's
Ovechkin.
a good one too.
Let's start with those two. Crosby came over and made a phone call to Jim Nill. Said, I want gold. Ovechkin, he made the same phone call. They've met in Stanley Cup playoff action. That's gone the way of Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's got the Stanley Cup on his resume. Alexander Ovechkin's never got by the second round. This is what they both have total.
So high-powered offenses, both teams. Good goaltending, both teams. Check, check. What about defensive play?
Well, the model for Team Canada in Sochi was defense. It is here. Defense, team defense, centers insulating. Burns plus 11 on the blue line in this World Championships. He has been a monster, a wildebeest, and he looks like one too. And then Mike Smith, when things break down, how about 137 minutes of shutdown hockey? Pretty good defense.
Again, 4 hours from now, we're on Canada, Russia. Just a little warm-up. The dress rehearsal for the gold medal game is the bronze medal game. The United States against the host Czech Republic. The Americans backstopped by Connor Hellebuck. He has been a hell of a goalie in this tournament. And for the Czech Republic, it's been that guy. Yager Mania has taken over the Czech Republic. Bronze medal game coming up.
Last chance for the fans in Prague to see this Czech national team with the 2015 World Championship, and almost certainly their last chance to see Jaromír Jágr wearing the national team colors. It's the Czechs against the United States for the bronze medal here in 2015. Czechs were fourth last year. They won a medal for the 12th time in the last 20 World Championships.
Disappointing day for both of these teams yesterday. Neither score a goal in their shutout losses. The U.S. 4-0 to Russia. The Czechs 2-0, of course, to Canada. And we'll see who can muster up a little extra energy here as we get going in the bronze medal game.
Underway, the United States is the home team here with the last change. Based on a better record in the round robin, Vladimir Savoka gets their first for the Czechs. They've won the last 3 meetings against the United States, including a 4-3 victory in the quarterfinals last year. Michael Jordan steps up, shoots, and Connor Hellebuck makes his first save. Allowed 3 goals on 29 shots against Russia yesterday. Still leads the tournament with a .936 save percentage.
A terrific tournament for Hellebuck, just 21 years old. Thought he played a terrific 40 minutes yesterday, and like the Americans, didn't respond in the third period.
Thomas Buchanan has that skip off his skate and wide. Buchanan's just off a plane from Montreal. Centers it. Dropped back. There's a shot by Kolash, goes high and wide after Montreal got knocked out. Buchanan's got here Friday. Played Saturday in the semis and is back in the bronze medal game this afternoon.
Was terrific in the first period, and then predictably ran out of gas a little bit in periods 2 and 3 as the coach is Todd Richards from the Columbus Blue Jackets and longtime national player and coach Vladimir Ruzicka for the Czechs.
Ruzicka's third tour of duty as the head coach of the Czech national team. The longtime club team general manager and coach for Slavia Prague here, left under bad circumstances at the start of this past season. At the Komutov of the Czech League instead. Slavia got relegated. Komutov got promoted. Never a dull moment when Vladimir Ruzicka's around, a combustible head coach. Now Brock Nelson on it for Team USA. Nelson leads the Americans with 6 goals. Vondrika tries to outlet it. Vondrika. Across he goes to Jan Kovac. In, shoots off the stick of Seth Jones and wide. And now Nelson ahead to Jack Eichel. Eichel, the 18-year-old, the youngest member of this Team USA roster, one of the youngest players in the tournament. Move that for Trevor Lewis. Now Jordan looks ahead. Trying to find Peter Kukoc. That's broken up. Canadian coach Todd McClellan approached the semifinal game against the Czechs like this, saying it's a 5-minute game then a 55-minute game. Survive the first 5, the Czechs' enthusiasm and crowd, then play the last 55.
They said they lost the 5-minute game even though it was 0-0 because the Czechs were all over Canada early and Mike Smith was terrific, and then the last 55 they were real good yesterday. Canada really checked extremely well and held the Czechs to just 23 shots on goal.
So this building once again full of Czech fans, and for a country of just under 10 million people, an estimated 3.5 million watched their quarterfinal win over Finland. Now the puck drops down to Jakub Voracek. He swings it wide, and Torrey Krug plays it back around. Picked off by Vladimir Sobotka, and Sobotka swings back. Kolash plays it across. Naklela with a shot. He hammered it wide. Jakub Naklela was looking for a deflection in front. And now Naklela steps up, collides there with American captain Matt Hendrick. Martin Erat has it now. Erat to Voracek, works it back, and his pass tipped away in a race for it now. Steve Moses, the speedster for Team USA, gets there first. Moses set the goal-scoring record of the KHL this year for Jokerit Helsinki, scoring 36 times. And Jágr back for it. Seth Jones steps into him. And now Jan Kolash has it. Bulk of these Czech players play in the KHL. Their NHL representation is low by their standards. Now it bounces to Thomas Buchanan. Swings it across to Jágr. The 2 NHL guys go to work. Jágr swings it back in, but Hellbuck will save. The puck loose, and it's stuck to Hellbuck's pad. He'll hang on to that.
Buchanan will dump the puck to Jágr just inside the line. Look at everybody back up off of Jágr. Nobody really wants to get too tight to him. Gives him room to shoot the puck. It's deflected off the stick of Charlie Coyle and the foot of Thomas Buchanan. Hellbuck stays with it. Jágr's 6 goals have been impressive. The winner against the Finns in the quarterfinals just brought everyone in this place to the feet. It was really a pretty special moment here in Prague.
And not just in the arena, on the way out afterwards, on the streets for hours afterwards, literally singing the song of Jaromír Jágr.
If people came to watch him in his last tour here, with the Czech national team, they're going to go away with a lot of great memories because he's had a fantastic tournament.
The 6 goals, Ray, that he scored this World Championship, the most he's ever scored in one World Championship tourney. What a move by Eichel. Walks in and shoots. Pavlik makes the stop. And the rebound tapped wide by Nelson. Jack Eichel's had a terrific tournament for Team USA. Scored the overtime winner in their round-robin win against Slovakia. They clinched first place for it. Jake Gardner. A shot deflected. Now Kleppers looks ahead for Jágr. Just missed that pass. I'm trying to remember the last Jágr breakaway we've seen.
It's been a few years.
That might have been fun.
He used to get a lot.
Here comes Gardner with it now. That's the official stat. A lot.
A lot.
Dan Sexton back in the U.S. lineup. Fired that wide of the goal. And now Gardner holds it for Team USA. Down to Mark Arcobello. Mentioned in the semifinals. Scored 17 goals this year in the NHL. Even more impressive when you consider the fact that he played for 4 different teams. Traded once, picked up on waivers twice. And Ben Smith, who was dealt during the NHL regular season, pumps it down to the Czech zone. Michael Jordan had to go off his skate. Kukdal plays it ahead for Yuri Novotny. And Connor Murphy breaks it up. Connor Murphy's dad, Gord, who's here today, played for Team Canada in the '98 World Championship. Connor born in Columbus, Ohio when his dad was there.
Gord, assistant coach in Philadelphia.
Now swatted down the ice.
He's a good player. He was a really good player. And did he ever look like Connor on the ice? The two of them are images, identical images on the ice of each other. It's always odd when a kid skates so much like his dad, and Connor does.
In comes Saboka with it now. Vladimir Saboka drops it back at the line. Kolash in, shoots. Hellebuck save. Rebound to Aaron. He shoots. And Hellebuck turns him away. Now it bounces right back in front. And Justin Falk moves down ahead. Justin Falk, the only member of this USA team who was a member of their bronze medal winning squad in 2013 in Stockholm. Kolash plays it across. And Nekladel back for Kolash. Ahead to Buchanan. He drops for Jágr. Jágr shoots. Hellebuck got a piece of that. Jágr back with it. Down near Jágr. Swings it rink wide. Off the bench comes Peter Chaslova. And it's played around by Falk. Falk snaps that pass to the middle of the ice to Anders Lee of the New York Islanders. And Lee battles there with Chaslova. Up along the boards. The line held by Jones. Throws it back in behind the Czech goal. Chaslova's knocked down by Lee. Crowd listens to disapproval at that. And now Lee plays it down to Nick Bonino. Charlie Coyle comes in to help out, as does Mike Riley, the defenseman, who jumps in. Bonino centers it. Lee couldn't get to it. Now Lee back with it. With a point to Coyle. Coyle rather to Bonino. Nick Bonino spins off a check, plays it off the back of the goal. Nick Bonino staying with it. Fencing there with Jan Hayda. And Seth Jones holds the line for the U.S. Sustained pressure now by Team USA. Charlie Coyle works it down low. Centers in the shot fire. Right on by Brock Nelson. Rebound. Score! Loose in front. Tapping it home was Nick Bonino. And the United States has taken the early lead 1-0. And that was a good 2 minutes in the offensive zone for the Americans.
As the U.S. was cycling the puck, they started to change, and Brock Nelson came off the bench. Nobody picked him up. He's coming right at the top of your screen. Nobody sees him yet. Here comes Nelson into the play. One stop by Pavlik. Another one by Pavlik. And then Kleppers starts spinning around looking for the puck. He doesn't find Bonino. And Nick Bonino's able to chip in his second goal of the tournament. You see it spin past Kleppers, and Bonino chips it into the net. The U.S. has a 1-0 lead.
Nick Bonino had scored in the opener against the Finns. That's kind of when Team USA served notice, Ray, that it was going to be a factor here. They bolted out to a 5-1 win over Pekarine and the Finns.
That was a terrific shift, hard work. The defense, both Riley and Seth Jones, came in to pinch and keep the play alive.
Here they come again. Brock Nelson with a backhand shot that goes wide. Czechs have now trailed in 8 of their 10 games in this tournament. Vondrika, Korchaveka, centers it, and Hellebuck knocks that away. So the Americans do this afternoon what they didn't do yesterday. Cash in on early chances. They had a ton against the Russians in their semifinal loss. And now the play called offside at the Czech line. Nick Bonino has taken Team USA to a 1-0 lead here in the first. Back here in Prague on a Sunday afternoon. Later on tonight, it'll be Canada against Russia for the gold medal, the hotly anticipated matchup here. Today also here in Prague, the IIHF inducted 7 new members into the Hall of Fame, led by 2 great Czech players from their golden era, Dominik Hasek and Robert Reichel. When you think back to the late 90s and early 2000s, when the Czech Republic was the undisputed king of international hockey, the reigning Olympic champions, they won 3 straight world championships and back-to-back World Juniors in 2000 and 2001. In 2000, they held all 3 of the top men's titles simultaneously. Something Canada can do with a win tonight in the gold medal game. Now Dan Sexton's spinning back. Sexton drops that off. Behind the goal is Seth Jones, a defenseman who jumped in. Jones, the top team man of last year's World Championship. Novotny took hard into his man. A penalty coming down to the Czechs, and as they touch up, we'll get a penalty call against Yuri Novotny, and the Americans will get an early power play here. It's a high sticking call.
It's the last motion of it, even though I'm not really sure that Novotny made any contact with his stick, but he knew right away, went to the penalty box, and
he set the record right to the box there.
And he was pretty sure it was a penalty. So the U.S. up 1-0, 4 power play goals in the tournament.
Now a chance in front of backhand shot taken there by Lee. He's turned away. Torrey Krug, who's on the blue line right now for Team USA, leads them with a pair of power play goals. One of them scored in a 5-on-3. Krug, as we saw in his early days with Boston, can really shoot it. So can Falk, who had 15 goals for Carolina this year.
Yeah, that blue line duo for them can shoot the puck. They'll be involved in the play, both of them, and 27 goals between the two of them. Krug followed up a 14-goal rookie year with 12 this year, and for a Boston team that struggled to score much of the year.
Think back to the 2013 playoffs when Krug got pressed into service, Ray. The Bruins had all kinds of injuries on defense. He scored 4 times in his first 5 playoff games. He played 1 regular season game at that point.
Now that was the end of Providence, the American League team, their American League championship hopes when Krug got called up. If you think he did well in Boston, you can imagine what it did to their defense in the American League.
Now Falk drops it back for Charlie Coyle, who joined the team mid-tournament after Minnesota got knocked out by Chicago. Coyle wraps it around for Lee. To Bonino, kicks it back there to Coyle, nifty play. Coyle feeds it back to Falk. Now Falk fires, he bangs it off the end boards. Backhanded down the ice by Jan Kolak.
Really odd dynamic for the American team as Mike Riley picks up the puck. He just decommitted at the University of Minnesota, which makes him an unrestricted free agent. And so he's a draft pick by Columbus, not necessarily going to sign with them now. And the head coach for USA is Todd Richards, the head coach in Columbus.
And there's all kinds of strange stuff there. Is now busting in Zadovic. In comes Zadovic, shorthanded, works it back. Hellebuck makes the save. And Jeremy Morin, dressed for the semifinal, didn't play in it. He's a Columbus player, and the winning goaltender against Todd Richards was Sergei Bobrovsky of the Blue Jackets.
Blue Jackets in the middle of a lot of things here. The Riley decision is going to be one that'll be most interesting to hear eventually when it comes out why he didn't want to sign in Columbus. He can't make more money anywhere else.
But he's got the right to choose which team he wants to go to.
No, absolutely he does. I'm interested to see what the reason is.
And why he waited. The Blue Jackets wanted him last year. By the way, the 4 NCAA players had 14 shots for the U.S. in the game yesterday against the Russians.
I think Eichel had 5, did he not?
In comes Dylan Larkin. Another one of those college players. His shot stopped there by Pavlik. Andre Pavlik was not the #1 goaltender when the tournament began. Vladimir Ruzicka said that Alexander Salak, who had a strong year in the KHL, would be their #1 guy. Given 5 goals on 24 shots in a shootout loss to the Swedes. As that quick shot is knocked away, and then Jankin gave him 2 on 6 against Latvia. And it's been Pavlik ever since.
Pavlik was fantastic against Canada yesterday. 39 saves in the 2-0 loss.
Plays offside at the Czech line. 8 to go here in this first period. And you see the puck hop over the stick of Mike Riley.
Then Zadovich with a short-handed chance gets to the net, but that's a pretty good pivot, turn, and chase by Mike Riley. Zadovich had a head start. He's going forward. Riley had to reverse field when the puck jumped over his stick.
Fans in Penticton, BC may remember Mike Riley as a member of the Penticton Bees a few years ago, who set a record winning 42 consecutive games, went on to win the RBC Cup as the Junior A champions in Canada. There's Krug with a long shot that's tipped wide by Sexton. Novotny plays it for Hayda, head for Yager. And Yager had his pocket picked by Steve Moses. And Moses flips that down to the U.S., or the Czech zone, rather, for the U.S. as Hayda plays around for Chaslova. Up for Sabotka to Yager. Jaromir Yager waits for help to arrive off the bench, now spins back. Yager, a little stick handling clinic along the board, throws it back in the corner. And now back on it. Chips it up there for Vondrika. Yager fights off Krug, and Krug takes it back. Steve Moses fires that down to the Czech zone. Anders Lee goes after it. For a lot of players playing in the World Championship, a chance to make up for a sour end of the season. That was the case for Anders Lee as Islanders knocked out by the Washington Capitals. He's a healthy scratch in Game 6 and 7 of that series. After a big regular season when he scored 25 goals for the Islanders.
I've always wondered why guys don't come to this tournament when, I mean, maybe there's family reasons. You got a new baby on the way. Maybe there's contractual reasons. You're not signed for next year. Maybe you're banged up or you need surgery. But for a lot of these players, this might be the only chance you get to represent your country. I'm always amazed when guys say, you know what, I just don't want to come.
And you see a Thomas Plekanec who jumps on a plane to come and play. And the United States got a lot of no's from top-end players.
Well, as you mentioned, there's 4 college guys on the team that wouldn't have the opportunity to play. Well, maybe Eichel would, but they get an opportunity in here, and look how Riley's played. Look how Dylan Larkin has played. Look at how they've relied on Jack Eichel. It's really been quite impressive, this young U.S. team, and how they've been able to play in this tournament, because it's not an easy tournament.
And 2 American League players as well, but talking to the American players this morning about what a good time they've had playing here, how much they've enjoyed it.
It's like anything. After you take a look at who didn't come, you say, oh, well, the heck with them. They're not here, so let's see who we got and do the best we can. And for the U.S., here they are in the bronze medal game.
Over the head it goes with Trevor Lewis, brought in by Jakub Voracek. Voracek comes steaming around Riley, and Riley stays with him step for step. Now Voracek drops it back. There's Hayden with a drive, and Hellebuyck makes the save on him. Now Sabotka has to retreat to pick it up for the Czech. Johnson 8-6 in favor of the Czech Republic. It was 6-1 before a flurry by the Americans led to the only goal of the game so far. Trevor Lewis of the LA Kings, 2-time Stanley Cup winner, plays it down. Nearly half these American players are making their international debut for Team USA. Now Jake Gardner works it across to Justin Fall. Now it's played down to Jeremy Morin. A quick shot there, turned away by Pavlik. So Morin, who does not have a point in the tournament, got it knocked away there. Hayda got thumped in the corner by Matt Hendricks, and back down to go to the U.S. zone. 10 American players, though, have won a gold medal with Team USA. at either the under-18 level or the World Junior, as Gardner fires that wide. That's where the bulk of the experience comes. That centering pass hits Pavlik as Bourne was standing near the crease. Vasileva feeds it across, and that long pass by Andre Nemitz got broken up. Nemitz did not play a shift in the semifinal loss to Canada. Now they dig forward in the corner. Picked out by Mosen. Steps around Nemitz. Steve Mosen fires it back around. Mosen, we mentioned a big KHL scoring star this year. He signed with Nashville now. There's that long shot by Krug. It's gloved by Pavlik. 3:58 to go here in the first period. US up 1-0. Bob and Bobek, the bunny mascots, working their magic here in Prague. Under 4 to go in the opening period. The closer to what has been a very entertaining and unpredictable World Hockey Championship. That shot by Benino was blocked. And Zanovic tries to bring that ahead. It's blocked as well, and Niklalo goes back. The Czechs were holding the spot for Marek Zidlitsky of the Detroit Red Wings, but he got hurt. So Niklalo got an increased role for the Czechs. He's led them in ice time. They're pretty good in their power play. Niklalo plays for TPS Turku. The Finnish league is Hellebuck.
I wouldn't be surprised, Gord, if an NHL team has taken interest in him. Watching him, he's 27. He gets around the ice all right. He shoots the puck really well. He's physical. Teams are always trying to scratch up a defenseman, and my gosh, he's right-handed. That's a unicorn.
Sabotka spins back. Drops it back for Michael Jordan. His long shot floats wide. Now picked up there by Krejcik. Krejcik feeds it back. Jordan with Voracek coming off the bench. Here's Krejcik, a long wrist shot that's blocked. It bounces back to the corner. Krejcik back with it. The Czechs continue to change as Jordan drops it off for Sabotka. That's picked off. And Benino sends it down the ice. We were speaking with a couple of NHL general managers this week, and we're talking about be careful getting fooled by guys who play differently for their national team. Voracek walks around Sexton, centers it for Erat. Here comes Martin Erat. Nemitz fires into the leg, and it's picked up by Mark Arcobello.
Nemitz didn't have a shift in yesterday's game either.
Arcobello works it back in. Lays it down to Sexton. That pass picked off by Erat. Erat being an example of a guy who had a miserable National Hockey League season, been really good here.
There are players that they just find a little extra juice when they put on their country's jersey. Get a look at Nick Bonino's goal. The pass from Coyle to Brock Nelson, 2 chances. And Bonino, who had a great start in Vancouver and then hit the ditch for about 30 games, is able to score and give the U.S. the 1-0 lead. It's the only goal through 18 minutes.
Andre Pavlik with the same percentage of .921 in the tournament that almost matches his career best .920 save percentage for the Winnipeg Jets in the NHL this year. Had one of the strangest relief appearances you'll ever see as he makes that save off an unfair faceoff. But Alexander Salak got pulled. Pavlik came on.
They
played 36 minutes and faced 4 shots.
He was perfect.
Before, basically a shot roughly every 9 minutes.
In that game, he didn't have a shot for the first 23. He just stood there. And the Czechs gradually took the game over and won, and then he hasn't given up the net yet.
Eichel spins back. Centers and Lewis scores! Trevor Lewis fires it home, and the United States has stunned this Prague crowd with a 2-0 lead.
You know, people want to see a little glimpse of what Jack Eichel can do. Watch this play that Eichel has. The control of the puck, the tight turn, and a crisp pass to Trevor Lewis. Lewis was voted one of the U.S.'s 3 best players in the tournament. Look at Eichel win the puck battle away from Pashlava, spin, head up, and he finds Lewis right through the seam, and Lewis taps this in. Kashleva's 220 pounds, and Eichel just leaned away from him. Crisp pass through the Czech defense. Nemec allows Lewis to get open on the back door, and it's 2-0 U.S.
7th point for Jack Eichel in 10 games of this World Championship. As you mentioned, the youngest American player. He was playing in the under-18s at this time last year.
Next year's #1 pick, at least at this point, is Austin Matthews. And Matthews played an exhibition game for the U.S. and scored a goal. He was over here for the U18s. They won gold medal, and the U.S. was waiting for a couple players, so they had Matthews play, and he scored. Apparently, he was one of the better players in the game. And sounds more and more like Austin Matthews is going to play in Switzerland this year. And here's the play from Eichel. He spins out from Kashleva. Stop. Look at the head get up and find Trevor Lewis from the Los Angeles Kings in front of the net. Lewis right to the front. Foot not in the crease, it's in the air, and he's able to punch it into the net from 1.5 feet.
That shot by Jordan was blocked by Matt Hendricks, who sends it down. So a chance for the U.S. to win 2 medals in 3 years, something that hasn't happened since 1952. Centering pass, knocked down by Hellebuyck, who pounds on that with Cervenka looking for the loose puck. Kovac going after Krug.
Saw the Russians starting to get frustrated with this American team yesterday as the U.S. played hard and were pretty physical with them, and the game was 0-0. If the Russians had given up the first goal, I would have been really curious to see how they would fight back, or if frustration would just bubble over for them. So now we're going to find out what the Czechs are able to do here. I felt the U.S. team would play well because they're young, because they would just kind of throw it up in the air and say, hey, we're going to go play. They've been terrific here in the first period.
Talking to some of the American management people who really felt that the Americans had converted on any of their dozen scoring chances in the first 2 periods, how different it would have been. They beat the Russians in the round robin, never trailed in that game.
Yeah, Sergei Bobrovsky was full marks for his shutout yesterday for Russia. He had an excellent game, and he'll need to do that again in the gold medal game.
Krug finds Benino. Chips it across the Lee. Dying seconds. Lee with a shot turned away by Andrei Pavlik. Now Krejcik slides it across, and Peter Kukoc has it. Final seconds now in the period. Kukoc comes ahead.
Terrible penalty for Charlie Coyle here.
Now Zadovic shoots, and the stop made by Hellebuyck. There's 2.9 seconds left. And Charlie Coyle will go off.
Just a brutal penalty for him to take at this juncture in the game where the U.S. has everything sitting in the palm of their hand. You just cannot allow the official to get involved in a play behind where the action is. So Coyle's going to get tied up with a Czech defenseman. The puck is 25 feet up the ice, and he just ends up slashing him and goes to the box. And while the Czechs will only have a face-off play here, they'll have a full 2 minutes to start in the second to see if they can get back in the game.
With one of the better power plays in the tournament. Sticking around right at the draw, a chance for Ira, turned away by Hellebuyck. And so the Czechs will have almost a full power play, as you mentioned, 1 minute and 58 seconds of time to open the second period, but they scored twice in the first and have a 2-0 lead in the bronze medal game here in Prague.
Championship just over 3 hours from now. We'll be talking all about that, but let's talk about the United States and the Czech Republic in this bronze medal game with Bob Airy, Rod Black with you. This is not surprising that the Czechs are down early. They have been in 8 of their 10 games.
Yeah, a little disappointment from their last hockey game, and they've been outscored 11-4 in their first periods in this World Championships. Jack Eichel taking advantage. Look at the puck support coming out of the zone. Look at the hands and the vision. And the great release on Pavlik.
He's special.
Eichel, look at him coming out of the corner. Protection, vision. This guy amazes me. Tremendous hockey player, an NHLer already, a Hobey Baker winner, and a beautiful play to Trevor Lewis. Lewis now with 9 points is tied up top at Team USA scoring with Brock Nelson. And Team USA They learned from their Sochi disappointments, and Dan Bilesman, assistant coach here in this World Championships, head coach there, has said, hey, guys, we got to come home with a medal.
Legend grows for Jack Eichel. Evander Kane is salivating right now. Oh, that he's going to play.
You better start working out.
Let's talk about Nick Bonino's goal.
Nick Bonino and Team USA, they really hammed the Czech Republic into their own zone midway through that first period of play. Good puck possession, using the whole zone, low to high. Look at the body work, using the back of the net. Bonino, Coyle's going to join it, Seth Jones. So it's all this high-low stuff, trying to spread the defense of the Czechs out, and they really did do that. And then you get to the front of the net, Bonino backs his way in there, and he's going to find some garbage. Great stuff against Pavlik and the Czechs, and for Team USA, that's how you win hockey games. You support yourself in the defensive zone as well as the offensive zone, and they have a commanding 2-0 lead.
Good to have the Vancouver Canuck back in. Nick Bonino had a bad injury a few games ago and was lucky to get back in the tournament. Nick Bonino had the opening goal. He's with Brian Mudryk.
Nick, I know in this building they come out with tons of energy. How happy are you to get through that first 5 minutes and come away here with a 2-0 lead as well?
Yeah, it's good. I think that's something we wanted to focus on too, as a quick start. We weathered their storm a bit. They come pretty hard and, able to get the first one and then the second one was pretty big.
You guys are a young team. I know you guys wanted to play for gold, but how exciting was it to try rebound here and bring a medal back home?
It's good. We have a lot of young guys and we got a lot of first-time guys over here. So anytime you can play for a medal, it's special. Obviously, like you said, gold would have been nice, but, there's a lot of teams in the world, and to be able to get a medal as top three, it would be nice.
Tell me about the goal.
Great play to start it by Anders there. We've been good down low when we have the puck, and then Anders made a pretty unselfish play to change. Charlie made a good pass to Brock coming down the middle, and hang around the net. Sometimes it bounces to you.
Good luck in the second.
Thank you.
Americans seem to want it more.
They do. They're young. They're hungry. And this is all new to them, and they are showing it right now on the ice. And yes, a bronze medal would be fine in the cabinets of all these young players.
Yeah, Connor Hellebuck's playing well as well. So a shutout through the first period of play, 2-0 for Team USA. Looking for bronze today, getting a dirty goal in front, crash in the crease. Nick Bonino scores. Sports Center update coming your way after this.
Stop muscle pain, Advil Fast. Get liquid fast relief so you can Advil and go.
Andre Pavlik allows a pair of American goals in opening period. One of them to Trevor Lewis. The United States will begin this second period shorthanded as Charlie Coyle has a minute and 58 seconds to serve on his high sticking penalty. And the Czechs looking for a spark. Will try to get one here with an early power play. By the way, Dominic Simone, an excellent 20-year-old player for the Czechs, did not get a shift in that first period. We've seen that before. Tomáš Hertl of the San Jose Sharks had that happen to him a couple of times. Hertl, a healthy scratch for the Czechs in the semifinal, and now the bronze medal game when Thomas Buchanan showed up.
So Czechs 9 power play goals in the tournament. They were 2 for 3 in the quarterfinal against the Finns. Have a chance to get back in. We've talked plenty about the early period power play, but the Czechs need something to ignite this crowd, to ignite their own passions, because they have been flat in this first period.
In comes Jagr. He was -2 in the first period. Czechs only had 2 power play chances against Canada. One of them was just seconds long. Voracek works it down to the corner. Jakub Voracek centers it, and it bounces off the stick of Irad into the corner. Irad was posted up in the slot and all set to shoot. Now Voracek back with it. Back to the Claddle. Takes the return pass from Jordan. Now Voracek unloads and hammers it wide. He gets back out to center ice. Wheeled back ahead by the Claddle as the Czechs begin a change. Now it's stolen by Lewis. He's got Dylan Larkin with him. And Lewis plays it down to Larkin. Larkin was 14-2 on faceoffs in that semifinal loss to Russia. Jagr works in, looking backdoor, tapped off the side of the goal by Voracek.
What a pass. Voracek likely didn't pick it up till late, but that's a wide open net that he's not able to capitalize on.
Tomáš back to Krejcik, to Nakladl. 30 seconds to go in the Czech power play. Jaromír Jagr winds his way in. Jagr loose in the corner, drops it down to Sobotka. Vladimir Sobotka. Peels it back. Nekladel holds the line. Sabotka to Nekladel, has time, shoots. He pounded that high off the glass. Jágr slides it back to Voracek. Final seconds now on the power play. Sabotka looks around for Krejcik, who had stepped up. Coyle's out of the box, and the U.S. sends it down. Nekladel goes back. Icing was waved off.
Zero desperation or intensity for the Czechs.
And 0 shots on goal on that power play.
I guess you can understand, Gord. I've been on a few of these early period power plays.
In comes Anders Lee, shoots, rebound, loose in front, trying to gather it up as Coyle.
I've seen this movie over and over and over in my life.
Now Coyle centers it, just missing that was Bonino. Well, we actually had the guys at the Elias Stats Bureau look it up. And on average, when a team begins the period on a power play of a minute or more, it's about half as effective as a power play that begins in mid-period. A quick shot fired high and wide by Lee, just missed there.
Outwork. Not as sharp. The play just doesn't work. They shoot it down the ice twice, and there goes your power play.
And the face-off starts at center ice right away, so Coyle drops it down to Gardner. Sabotka picks it off, and he finds Vondrika. Michael Vondrika works in, steps around his man, and lands up on top of the net. As Zach Redmond stayed with him. Now Eichel on it. The bump on the puck by Vondrika, centers it. It's bounced wide to the goal by Kukal. Now Kukal, bumped there by Eichel. Jack Eichel just muscled him off the puck. And looks ahead to Gardner. Americans are changing as Jake Gardner sweeps it in. And Simone has it. Dominic Simone. Up ahead to Zanovic. Trevor Lewis digs it out for the United States and picks his way ahead. That pass misfired, trying to find Brock Nelson. It'll be an icing call. And these American players will have to remain on the ice. And
there's the play from Jágr to Voracek.
This may have to be a timeout for American coach Todd Richards.
Vondracek. His chance gets up on top of the net, about an inch from being really dangerous as the puck bounces onto the back of the netting.
Timeout called by the U.S. Richards had to do it after that icing. Several of his players on the ice were doubled over with their sticks across their thighs.
It's Dan Bylsma, who was the Olympic team coach, when Richards was the assistant. They flipped roles for the World Championships. They've worked together quite some time.
I go back to Wilkes-Barre in the American League when they were first again. It was Richards, the head coach, hired Bylsma. You see Yaroslav Spacek on the bench with Vladimir Ruzicka. They've had animated conversations throughout this tournament. Ruzicka is one of the most demonstrative coaches you'll see. Now, Oleg Zarnuk of Russia takes it to a whole new level. We'll see him tonight.
I like when he argues. Looks like he's going to come undressed over there. He's up on the bench and he's gesturing all over the place.
Off the draw, controlled by Voracek. Jakub Voracek, the Czech captain. Tries to slide that back for Irad. Gardner had it taken away by Plekanec. Jumping up is Kolář to keep it alive. Jan Kolář down for Irad. Eichel steps into him. So now even after the timeout, these American guys are hemmed in here as Nekladel centers for Voracek. Now goes back. Kolář should drive, and it's gloved by Hellebuyck. He'll hang on. And the United States will get a change just in the nick of time.
The puck bounces off of Zach Redmond's stick and goes out to Kolář. Kolář gets pretty good wood on it, but Hellebuyck, who's not been tested here much, is out to make the glove stop.
You've got Andre Pavlik in one goal, the Winnipeg Jets' #1 netminder. You got Connor Hellebuyck in the other. He spent the year with St. John's of the American League, the Jets' American League team.
They also have Michael Hutchison, who had an excellent season. Hutchison was the goaltender in the American League the year before, after he came from Boston. the Boston organization.
And in 2014, Hellebuck was the first winner of the Mike Richter Award that goes to the top goaltender in U.S. college hockey playing at UMass Lowell. Now Yager with it. Feeds back to Jordan. Across he goes for Hayda with a shot that was blocked. As getting the lane was Ben Smith. Now Hayda can't hold it, and it's back down to the Czech zone. Shots are even at 1 here in the period. Lead pass goes to Kukal. Sends it back, and that pass just missed Simone with his first shift in the game. Almost had a tap in there at the side of the goal. Been sitting for an hour. Now Kukal turns and fires that right into the Czech bench. And hit Voracek with it.
Quick up on the change, and it gets to Kukal, who goes across to Simone, and that's twice the Czechs have had a cross-seam pass not finished at the right post of the U.S. Voracek missed one, and then Simone just moments ago.
The Czechs trailing by the same score they lost Canada by yesterday, 2-0. They got almost no push in the third period against Canada.
I thought Canada was almost airtight in that period. They checked extremely well. They used their speed as a disruptive force defensively. The Czechs just didn't have any room.
6 gone here in the second period. And Saboka picks it out along with Vondrika. Trying to return the pass. That misfired. Saboka takes Murphy in hard. And back comes Larkin the other way with Moses. The centering pass goes off his skate. Sent ahead by Cervenka. He finds Vondrika. Vondrika works in. Drops for the trailer, walking in off the goalpost. Run right off the post by Kolash. With a great chance moments ago as well, but this time he rings it off the iron.
They got to look at that again, Gord. It may have hit the pipe, but I think that hit the back part of the net. It came out so quick. Wow. 3 times the same play.
Yeah.
Right side across to the left.
Mechanics spins and fires that wide. Here's Jordan on it. Michael Jordan back for Nikladl. Feeds back to Jordan, waits, feeds it across. Mechanics centers, Earhart with a shot. And the pad save made by Hellebuck.
There are times where Hellebuck looks so composed in the U.S. goal. That was one of them on the stop to Earhart.
In comes Mechanics again. Drops it back. Jordan with a shot. That trickles down. Hellebuck down. The puck loose in the corner. Seth Jones has it. Jones thought about icing it for a moment. Now lifts it up to center right. Boyle plays it in. Now Novotny had it stripped away for a moment by Eichel. Long pass ahead, and that'll be an icing call against the Czechs after Kolash came this close. They're going to go down and have a look at this at the scorer's table. So let's have a look and see if it was in.
Nope.
It did come out funny, though.
But this is going to hit the goal post right there, right at the junction of post and crossbar. Kolash, who had an unbelievable chance earlier, walked in that Hellebuck got a glove on. This one right off the crossbar and goal post. The official with the correct call. It's his stick that makes it look funny. The butt end of the goal stick went into the net, and that was the bulge of the net, but it definitely hits the crossbar. A quick review. And even though they've got the phone dangling on the big clock here, they've already decided it's no goal and they're going to drop the puck.
And Ray, the difference, of course, in the IIHF, if the referee goes down, he has a look at it as well.
It's the way it should be. It can't be that hard to put a monitor there. We got...
Well, televisions were invented, some 70 years ago.
To my knowledge, you can actually put them almost anywhere now. We have them all over the rink. You can put one on the bench there.
You watch it on your phone all the time, so there's Nelson with it.
Sometimes during the game.
Long drive blocked in front. Eichel trying to bat that out of the air. The Czechs bring it back 3-on-2. In comes Jagr. Lines in. Clippers with a deflection. Picked away by Hellebuck. And Novotny couldn't get to the rebound.
That's 4 times.
Yeah.
Same play. Hellebuck's got to get used to this. I mean, that's 4 times in the last 5 minutes they've made that same play.
Maybe try the other side. Go left to right. There's Zanovic, a long shot. And that's gloved by Hellebuck. 2-0. The U.S. leads the Czechs. Back in Prague, it's after 5 o'clock local time tonight at 8:45 local time. The puck will drop on the gold medal game between Canada and Russia. Our coverage will begin at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Now fed down by Dan Sexton of the Czech zone. Arcabello goes for it now. Arcabello digging for it. 4-year star at Yale University before he embarked on his pro career. Plays it down to Ben Smith. Smith. Down for Arcabello. Plays that to an open corner. Ben Smith was dealt by Chicago to San Jose for Andrew Desjardins. Basically because Desjardins had no time left on his contract and Smith did. And Chicago is coming to a major cap crunch this summer. Now Pavlik waving at it. The centering pass just missed Sexton.
All of a sudden, the most important guy in the front office is somebody with a calculator. They've got to try and figure out a way to fit as many of those players with the elevated contracts of Taves and Kane about to kick into effect.
A calculator or a scalpel?
That's the next guy. He's in the next group.
Smith fires it down, and Pavlik leaves it there for Kolaj. The defenseman has had the 2 best scoring chances for the Czechs here in the second period. Vonderga drops it back. Saboka's shot, and that's off Jake Gardner. Up and out of play. The shots here in the second period are 5-2 in favor of the Czechs.
There's the shot from Jordan, and Jakub Voracek right on the crease tries to swat it past Hellebuck, and then Klepish with the deflection on Jagr's chance. We know the one shot from Kolaj hit the crossbar, and then Voracek whiffed on a power play chance from Jagr. Those are all from that right side across the net. First 10 minutes of this period has been all Czechs. The U.S. has weathered this first push.
Now Kolaj a long shot. Hendricks going to stick on that, deflected it away. Back at the point, pounded wide by Nekladel. We're down to Buchanan. He finds Irat. Back to Nekladel. Long shot through traffic, tipped wide by Irat. Played back by Morin. And now Krug throws that back in the corner. It's picked off by Buchanan. Voracek centers it. And Falk tips it ahead for Hendricks. Along with Jeremy Morin, who winds and shoots. That's blocked by Kolaj. And back it goes to center right. Krug. In for Gardner. Torrey Krug off the sideboards to Jack Eichel. Eichel gets it right back. Now Pavlik played it off the heel of Lewis. Now it bounces back to Jagr. A dangerous play behind the Czech goal. Now Nekladel has it. In comes Nekladel across the line. Drops for Klepish, a long shot. Hellebuck knocks that away. Jagr finds Novotny, but he collided there with Gardner, and Eichel's got it back along with Nelson. Drop pass for Brock Nelson. In, shoots, it goes off Hayden wide, and Jordan plays it away. Eichel tries to drop it back, and Gardner had Simone all over him. Pavlik drops it down for Hayden. Rink wide for Hayda. Back ahead to Dominic Simone. He comes busting down the left side, centers it. Charlie Coyle was waiting for the U.S. and knocked that away. Bonino works it back in, centers it. Lee with a pass in behind Coyle. Now Bonino had it taken away by Jordan, but Lee gets there first for the U.S. Plays it back down to Bonino. Jack Redmond moved up to the U.S., but Bonino couldn't find him with a pass, and now Kukal taken down by Bonino. And a penalty coming to Team USA as Kukal is down. And the Czechs will go to the power play. So a double minor being given to Nick Bonino for high sticking. And so Kukal takes one right in the face from Bonino. And here's the Czechs' chance. 7:44 to go. And a double power play.
Carried the play much of this second period. Bonino's trying to lift Kukal's stick behind the net. He misses, and there you see him hit Kukal in the face. Kukal's bleeding from the nose. He's being treated at the Czech bench. And here's the Czech power play.
And Nekladel gets it, fires. He pasted that just wide.
That's two from that spot this period. He's hit the glass with both of them. They sound hard, not effective.
Yager to Kovac, back to Yager. Works it back to Voracek, to Nekladel. Voracek misfired to the pass, and that gives Arcobello a chance to knock it out. Might be the game right here. Nekladel fires around, Yager knocks it down. And now fired down the ice by Falk. The only option used to be, Ray, either 2 or 5. And a long shot taken by Saboka, gloved by Hellebuck.
Sabotka takes a long shot. Hellebuck's going to easily catch that. That's not a great shot for Sabotka to take. Now the U.S. gets fresh penalty killers on the ice. If you're going to shoot it from there, get it onto his pads so the puck stays in the corner. Now you can go chase it down again and keep the U.S. from getting organized.
Saboka wins the face-off back to Krejcik for Cervenka. 1 minute gone. And the first minor penalty to Bonino. Cervenka drops it down for Sabotka, the former St. Louis Blue, played last year in the KHL. Sabotka works it back, drops it back for Jordan. Feeds across to Klepish to Sabotka. Now Sabotka in, shoots, Hellebuck save, the rebound bounce away from Cervenka. Jordan reaches out and he can't hold the line. It'll be called offside.
And there you see the difference when Sabotka gets the puck onto the goaltender's blocker and pads. The difference, it's low, he can't catch it. There's a rebound, and there's a lot of people sitting on their hands here waiting for something good to happen. So the Czechs have now gone 4.5 periods without a goal. And it's as quiet as it's been when the Czechs have played in this tournament.
When you think back to Yager scoring in the quarterfinal win against Finland, his second game, the building erupting, him looking skyward. Now the lead pass for Cervenka. Winds it back to Jordan. Jordan takes the return pass from Krejcik. Works in, Jordan with a chance. He fired that wide. Jakub Klepish picks it up. Down for Jordan. Klepish feeds back to Krejcik. Has time. Slaps it across for Cervenka. Cervenka shoots through the traffic. Hellebuck makes the save. Klepish. Back to Cervenka. He shoots. It was blocked by Smith. Jordan. Back to Cervenka. First minor penalty expired. Jordan with the drive. That was tipped wide. Now Falk racing to it. Klepish falls. It's knocked down by Sabotka. Cervenka being harassed there by Smith. Feeds it down to Sabotka. Walks it back. Hellebuck the save. Loose puck still bounces around. Klepish drops it back for Krejcik. Now Jordan drops it back to Klepish. Off to Krejcik with a drive. Pad saved by Hellebuck, and the rebound cleared away by Krug. Krejcik back with it. Feeds it back to Jordan. Jordan to Krejcik. He misfired and that. A stick broke on him. Falk to the line, but not out.
Well, the Czechs forwards got a chance to change here. Get Yager back on the ice.
Cervenka rink wide for Kovac. Minute to go in the power play. Yager shoots, and Hellebuck makes the stop on him. Kovac winds his way in.
Oh my, what a
Poke check by Arcobello, and Arcobello strips him with the puck.
You've got 4 U.S. defenders straight-legged on the ice, and Kovac wants to beat somebody one-on-one. Move the puck.
Now Kovac swings it across. Buchanan down to Yager. Flips it back to Voracek. And that pass comes out as Declano can't hold it. Czechs have had 4 shots so far on this power play. But just 25 seconds to go in the double minor to Nick Bonino. Drop back to Kovac. Feeds across to Yager. Yager back with it. On the goal line. Buchanan offers him a pick. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Ringed around, Declano holds it. The Czech bench hollering at him. Bounced away from Kovac. And Bonino steps back on. The United States survives a 4-minute power play from the Czech. Buchanan sends it towards the goal, knocked down by Seth Jones. Away he goes to Hendricks. And Matt Hendricks feeds it down as Declano goes back for it.
The U.S. has been shorthanded 5 minutes and 58 seconds in this period. Still lead 2-0.
Redmond knocked that away. Redmond, a former Winnipeg Jet, now playing in Colorado, suffered that horrible skate cut in February 2013 while practicing in Carolina. And now we got a slashing call coming with 2:59 to go.
It's going to be Novotny.
And so the Americans are going to late power play here in the second.
This is where things start to spiral out of control if you're the Czechs. You've had a couple of really good chances, then a power play goes flat. You take a penalty here, which you're probably not going to like. I mean, that doesn't really look like much of a slash, but this is where things can come apart. This is a crucial time for the Czechs. For the U.S., their power play's got just 4 power play goals in the tournament. Man, to pick up one here would be enormous.
Eichel, Moses, and Nelson up front for the U.S. Seth Jones and Mike Riley on the back end. Mike Riley, the 21-year-old from Chanhassen, Minnesota, is going to be a busy guy this summer. Filling offers from National Hockey League teams after a great season at the University of Minnesota. Away comes Buchanan shorthanded. Thomas Buchanan winds in. Tries to throw that back in front, picked off by Seth Jones.
Well, Riley should enjoy it because it's not very often you get to pick your spot. It's not very often where everybody's throwing roses at your feet. So find where you want to go, get yourself training, and it'll happen quick. By the time he's free to negotiate with teams on July 1st, that won't be a long one. That'll be done quickly.
Now Riley has that skip away and back down the ice. Long lead pass that missed Lee, and that'll be an icing call against the U.S. in the power play.
Really good season for Anders Lee. 25 goals in New York for the Islanders, who really put things together for a lot of the season. Been a bit of an up and down tournament for Lee, who was scratched a couple of times, as you mentioned, in the quarterfinal or in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but he had 2 assists in the quarterfinal and been a big part of this USA team.
Under a minute to go in this power play. Less than 2 to go in the second period. The Czechs have been used to chasing games over this tournament as Eichel brings it in. Remember the Germany game, they were down 2-1, 1-0 in that game. Finally won it 4-2. Trailed almost the whole game against the Swedes before losing in a shootout. Now played across, and Krug with a chance, he snapped it wide. 25 seconds to go in this power play. Lee back on it. Finds Krug. Back to Lee. Anders Lee drops it down for Bonino. Now Krug, long wrist shot, that hammered wide. Krug drops it back, and then pounded by Benino. Blocked by Irat. Novotny steps out, and the play continues. Coyle finds Benino. Back to Coyle with a drive. Scores! Charlie Coyle! And with 49 seconds to go in the second period, the United States has taken a 3-0 lead.
The goal and an assist for Benino and Coyle. Nothing much happening on the power play for the U.S. and the Czechs don't clear the puck. It's Irat who doesn't get the puck out. A good heads-up play by Coyle to Benino. The give and go, and Benino's shot deflects off the right pad of Ondrej Pavlik. And it's 3-0 U.S.
So Charlie Coyle, who arrived after the Americans' 5th game, has his 3rd in 5 games, and the U.S. with a late crushing goal to take a 3-0 lead. And the United States seeking its 2nd medal in 3 years in this tournament. Murphy with a long shot that deflected off the stick of Hendricks, and Pavlik makes the glove stop.
Now Vladimir Ruzic is going to have to pull a rabbit out of his hat here. Down 3 going into the last 30 seconds of this second period.
Off the draw, control by Lewis. Looks down the centering pass, knocked down by Kuko, who's back out there after being high stick by Benino earlier. And Simone chips it ahead. Murphy knocks it around. Arcobello steps into him. Now Lewis back on it. Rink wide he goes, and Hendricks settles things down. He had Simone all over him. And now stolen by Kuko. Final seconds now in the period. A chance now for Irat. Irat centers it. Oh, what a stop by Hellebuck on the tip by Kuko. And Kuko just looks skyward. Can't believe when that stop is made. And now Kuko knocked down by Murphy, and pushing and shoving breaks out in the corner.
That was a frustrated run by Kuko. The play was pretty much over, and he decided to take a big run at Connor Murphy. He bounced off of Murphy, got his stick up on Arcobello, and it looks like everything will be separated with no penalties.
And that came seconds after a terrific stop by Hellebuck to secure a 3-0 U.S. lead after 40 minutes.
9 for the gold medal. Rod Black, Bob Airy back with you in Studio 401, our World Championship control. American team look like they're poised for a bronze medal. They've been outshot, but I think the shots on goal may be a little deceiving here. A lot of perimeter shots for the Czechs, but Connor Hellebuck has been really good.
Well, he's been fantastic, to say the least. You said something to me before we came on. You win bronze, and that's exactly what Team USA is doing right now. The Czechs came out 12-4 were those shots, but Hellebuck and the goal post helping him out here. Beautiful save by Hellebuck as you see the defenders taking away traffic. Yager with the redirect out in front. Hellebuck putting the rebounds into the corner. He's been solid, brilliant. Team defense for Team USA here. They are out there to win bronze.
They've kept the crowd completely out of it. The Czech powerless play has been brutal.
You talk about deflating. I mean, this power play has taken all the momentum out of the Czech Republic. They were coming on strong. Benino with the high stick on Kuko has taken a beating in this tournament. And then Jordan can't keep a puck in. Jordan, a fleeting opportunity, looking for a stick in front. Look at the way they're taking away sticks. But a 4-minute double high stick goes by the wayside for the Czech Republic, and it looks all but over.
Tell me about the goal in the second period by Charlie Coyle.
Well, Charlie Coyle came after Game 5 for Team USA, and he already has registered his 3rd goal in the 5 games he's played. And this is right after a Czech Republic penalty kill. So the special teams not coming through for the Czechs. The Team USA taking advantage of their opportunities, despite the fact they were outshot 12-4 in the second period of play. And I don't know what the Czech team was doing last night, but they don't look good in this one.
Maybe it was all gold or nothing for this team because you said you win a bronze medal. Here is American defenseman Justin Falk with Brian Mudryk.
Justin, it must have been exhausting. You guys are killing a ton of penalties out there, but it must have been nice to get that goal and give you guys a bit of a spark.
Yeah, it was a big penalty kill there for us, and to get a power play right after that and score is huge for momentum, and it was nice to get that going for us.
What's it like having a young goalie back there like Connor? He just seems so calm and cool for you guys in net.
He's been great. He's been great all tournament. He's given us the first save, which is all we need, and then it's on the D and the forwards to kind of clear the rebounds, and we've been able to do that for most of the tournament.
20 minutes from a bronze medal. I know it's not the one you wanted, but what would it mean to you and your guys?
It's huge. It's not too often you get a chance to play for a medal in any international tournament, and you want to take every opportunity you can get and make the most of it.
Good luck in the third.
Thank you.
Like what these American players are saying about that possible bronze medal. Now, keep in mind, if the Czechs do score a goal, they're going to lift the crowd here early on, but they just haven't seemed like they're getting to that point to score a goal.
They haven't scored a goal this weekend, and I agree. They've been asked time and time again. I know it's not the medal you wanted. Well, they came over just looking for a medal, and they'll be happy with a bronze. You can sense that. They are playing hard for this. It means a lot to them, Rod.
Jaromir Jagr's final 20 minutes at the Worlds. Is there some drama left for the Czech Republic, or will the Americans claim bronze? SportsCenter update on the other side.
Czech fans here in Prague, their last chance to see their national team at this World Championship. The last time this tournament was held here in 2004, the United States also won a bronze medal.
The Czechs have Plekanec in the middle of Irat. Voracek, that's where Sobotka has played most of the tournament. Down 3, you better sell everything quick here. You got to get yourself back in the game. It's really about 1 goal in the first 10 minutes for the Czechs to see if you can put some pressure on the U.S.
What a goal by Charlie Coyle with 50 seconds left in the second period to make it 3-0. Now Voracek flips it back in front. Hellebuck makes the save on Plekanec. He gives Krug a chop, and Krug gives him one right back. Little Montreal-Boston thing going on there.
And here goes Plekanec back there.
Irat in the face of Krug. And referee Yuri Ron does have his arm in the air for a penalty.
Somebody's got a roughing penalty. It looks like Charlie Coyle. And everybody else is spreading out. Coyle's still standing at the net. Let's take a look at the chance by Plekanec. Oh, a couple of baseball swings each for Plekanec and Krug. Oh, and there, it's always the guy with the choke lock that gets it in European hockey. So Coyle goes to the penalty box. That could have been Krug. It could have been Plekanec.
Plekanec is batting leadoff there.
They were flailing away at each other. So the Czech power play that has really let them down in this game. 0 for 3 in that second period with almost 6 full minutes of power play time. They're back on the ice.
There's Yuri Ron, the referee, along with Marcus Vinterborg in this bronze medal match.
Now Todd Richards just said to the ref, you better wake up, both of you guys. Not happy about Coyle being the one lugged out of the pack for the penalty.
And the Czechs, of course, had that double minor go against the U.S. in the second period, a chance to climb back in the game, and moments after it ended, found themselves down 3-0. Voracek works in 1-on-4, drops it back for Plekanec. Thomas Plekanec.
So they've moved this power play group around. Irat's usually in the middle here.
And that backdoor pass knocked away from Voracek by Krug. Torrey Krug, an undrafted player out of Michigan State. What a find he was for the Boston Bruins. In comes Voracek, works it and shoots. Hellebuck makes the stop and held the puck long enough to get a whistle.
Voracek was waiting for the traffic to get there. It was Plekanec going to the net. There have been times where Voracek's been really quiet in the tournament. There's other times on the power play in particular where he's been very dangerous, and he just can't get anything to go. Connor Hellebuck has been perfect in goal. He's perfect in goal against the Russians after 2 periods.
Now Jordan in shoots. That's off the stick of Hendricks, up and out of play.
And then gave up a couple of goals in 3 minutes. The U.S. did. 3 goals in 8 minutes in the third period to Russia yesterday, and the Czechs have to look for something to break the ice and chip their way back into this contest.
The last U.S. team to win a bronze medal at the World Championship had the likes of Eric Johnson, Ben Bishop, Alex Galchenyuk, Paul Stastny. This American team is not as star-studded, but what a gritty performance by a club that beat the Russians in the round robin and got close against the Russians in the semifinals. We're falling in the third period. Now played across, and Krejcik with a shot that's turned away by Hellebuck.
Oh, Winnipeg Jet fans should be pretty encouraged with Connor Hellebuck's performance here.
Seems like you and I have done a lot of tournaments lately where Winnipeg Jets fans should be excited.
There's a lot of young players that are going to be stepping into the organization if they're not already there in the next year or two in Winnipeg. Got a good thing going.
Jake Trouba and Ufa a couple years ago at the World Junior Championship was just lights out for them.
Nikolai Ehlers, Nick Patan put on really good performances at the tournament. Andrew Kopp a couple of years ago as well.
Iran up ahead for Novotny.
Well, that power play's been a disappointment for the Czechs this afternoon.
Yeah, that's been the difference, right?
I mean, they've had 4 cracks to get back in the game. They can't ask for anything more.
And now Falk plays it ahead to Coyle, who banks it out and erases. Kolash goes back, and Jack Eichel just streaked into him. A move by Eichel. Now the centering pass, and Eichel taps it on goal. Pavlik makes the stop. It's like Jack Eichel was shot out of a slingshot there.
Eichel has such a long stride. It's a different stride than McDavid. I would say Eichel is more powerful. McDavid more explosive. McDavid probably a little faster. Man, those guys cover the ice. It's just amazing how quick they can get through 15 feet of ice. And then they're away from the checker. Now they've got room to do their magic.
Kukoc comes sliding in. Drifts that wide of the goal. The easy shot turned away by Hellebuck. Held at the line by Zanovic. And now touching up is Zanovic, and play is called offside at the American line.
Gord, we saw that assist that Jack Eichel had earlier on. That's a power move. That's going to be a strength of his as we take a look at Connor Hellebuck's excellent first 43 minutes of this hockey game, where he's dealt with just anything that the Czechs have thrown at him with great composure. But the one difference I saw is carrying the puck through the middle of the ice between he and McDavid. It's like McDavid gets faster. He leaves people in the dust. Eichel's more of a power forward style to his game.
Now Voracek shoots, and Hellebuck hangs on to that. You know, it's funny how often guys that go 1-2 in the draft get compared to each other. What if they're both really good? What if...
Yeah, but they're going to be.
Right, so...
And they're... I mean, it happens more often probably than we think about. Sagan and Hall are both really good players, but we're talking about a different level of player here.
Right.
The projections for these two kids are amazing, and it will be really interesting to see how their careers develop early on. Somebody will have a better start, and then the writings will say, oh, that guy's better, and then 2 years later you say, no, the other guy's better. My thought is they're both going to be just terrific players, and they're going to really be dynamic offensive players, and the league could use them.
Well, goal scoring, right? I mean, they're both high-end goal scorers.
How about some goals? You saw the list of 2-1 games that the Rangers have played throughout the playoffs. You guys don't get to use your goal call very often.
I know, you forget. He shoots, he scores. It's, 4 words, 2 are the same, but you forget sometimes.
It'll be interesting to see, though, when they get into the league and as they feel their way, what kind of immediate impact they make, what impact they make in 30 games and 50 games.
The hard thing's going to be, Ray, that goal scoring in the regular season is pretty much the same as Kolash takes that shot. But high-end players are having a harder time scoring. So no 100-point scorers and 150-goal scorer.
Well, there's certainly when I played, you could get a mismatch.
Fourth line players.
Oh my gosh, you'd be drooling when you got on the ice. Now that the fourth line guys can all skate, they'll get 10 goals or 5 or 7 goals. It's hard. There's no room. They probably really should think about calling the obstruction again, though.
Well, so it begs.
See Brock Nelson slow to his feet here.
Yeah, he got knocked down in the corner. So the officials, Marcus Vinterborg and Yuri Ron, are huddling.
So Nelson turned with the puck as McLaddle was coming to make the hit. I don't believe that's a penalty, and
there isn't one. I think the ability to whistle without using your fingers is paramount to being a good coach.
It has to be.
So Nelson
wasn't happy, and hopefully Brock Nelson's okay here on the bench, tended to by the U.S. trainer.
So the International Ice Hockey Federation, Ray, has always been strict on obstruction. As now Redmond touches up, and they're going to call a hand pass against the U.S. So, and really verging on zero tolerance, Ray, like almost no tolerance. And Nelson really got cut there.
As you see him turn back to the boards, and his head hits the glass, and so what ends up happening is your helmet compacts on your head, you get a compression cut. And we'll tend to Nelson on the bench. The one difficulty with the obstruction international to NHL hockey is that the players are in such close contact most of the time. Here you can spread out on the ice, so when there is obstruction, you can really see it.
Right.
A lot of times there's almost incidental contact, but now it's quickly turning into a mosh pit in the middle of the ice.
Wildfire's that wide. The fans are up and hopping here.
Trying to get something going.
The chant is, if you are not hopping, you are not Czech. What a show they put on here in Prague for the last 2.5 weeks.
Very great tournament.
And the best, we think, yet to come.
The best two teams are going to play for gold. And that's really the way it should be. It'll be really interesting.
In comes Kukal with a shot that drifts off the glass, up and out of play.
It'll be interesting to see if Canada can bottle up the Russians like they did the Czechs. And it's not a defensive posture at all. It's just bottling a team up by the way that you skate, how quickly you chase the puck down. Canada did that magnificently against the Czech Republic in the semifinal game.
Now Hayden with a drive that goes wide. Entering play today, more than 700,000 fans had come to games in Ostrava and Prague, shattering the old attendance record set last year in Belarus, which some had doubted. Now Zanovic winds his way in, shoots. Hellebuyck shuts him down short side. Now turned over, and a chance for Zanovic again. And again he's turned away by Hellebuyck.
That was a really European play. Zanovic was about 3 feet from Kukal, and he tried to slide it through the goal crease instead of just taking it and jamming it in the net himself.
Now Jordan plays for Carolina in the NHL, wraps it around. 6.5 gone here in the third period. And a race to it. Jack Eichel again just won that race to the puck, chips it back to Lewis with a quick shot that goes high and wide. Bounces down to Brock Nelson, back out there after being cut earlier. And his pass bounced out of play. You're watching the 2015 bronze medal game for the World Hockey Championship. Connor Hellebuyck has stopped all 31 shots he's faced from the Czechs here in the bronze medal game. A 21-year-old from Commerce, Michigan, having himself quite a world championship. In Jack Campbell, the Dallas Stars prospect, have shared the goaltending duties here. Both guys in the American Hockey League this year. And McLaddle plays it around for Kolak. Martin Irac flips it ahead for Jakob McLaddle. In he comes, McLaddle. From a sharp angle, tries to wrap it around, feeds it back instead. Kovash with a shot that went wide, and Hellebuck was screened, never saw it. Czechs haven't scored since the third period of their quarterfinal matchup against the Finns. Now drop back to Clevel with a wrist shot. That was blocked. As Sexton got in the way, that cut his stick in half. Now Irad shoots, that goes wide. So Sexton has no stick, trying to drop it down. Ben Smith backhands it for Arcabello. And he'll feed that to the line as Sexton hops off the ice. And Voracek brings it back in for the Czechs. Jakub Voracek looks for Plakanec. He chops it down. Tried to center it. Now played back for Nekladel. Across to Chaslova. Centering pass for Voracek. His one-time shot was blocked. Nekladel feeds it back to Voracek around for Plakanec. Spins away from Jones, who stays with him. Plakanec to Voracek. Chopping at it is Brock Nelson to play it out. And Klepish almost had that picked off by Nelson. Now Chaslova plays it back in. Under 11 and a half to go in the third period. U.S. up by 3. And Novotny gathers it up for the Czech. Krejcik for Jágr. Drops it back to Krejcik. That's knocked away, and back goes Chaslova for it, being trailed by Anders Lee. Now Lee picks it up. Looked ahead for Bonino, and in behind the goal, Chaslova has it. But the Czechs can't sustain any pressure here in the third, Ray.
No, they can't. Watching Jágr, it looks like the tank is pretty much empty for him. He didn't have much against Canada, and even less here today. And after a while, it is a lot of hockey, and he is 43. You're going to run out of gas eventually.
Cervenka spins back in the corner. Sobotka with it now. Sobotka fights off Bonino, plays it back for Hayda. And Jan Hayda looks back for Cervenka. Vondrika trying to find some space in front. Cervenka sends it back for Sobotka. Sobotka looks to the side of the goal. Works back in and shoots, and Hellebuck makes the stop and hangs on to that.
There's Martin Zadovich. This is the play I'm talking about. He tries to slide it through to Kukal. It actually hits Justin Falk's skate off of Hellebuck. Zadovich would be just as able to create a scoring chance by taking another stride and trying to shoot it over the pad of Hellebuck on the far side. How about another pass?
No.
Unless he was standing there all by himself.
Even then.
Well, then you would have had to. But no, I just think it's a more dangerous chance you come out. Less is going to go wrong if you take it and shoot it.
Zadovich works his way in. Centers it. Simone with a shot. Hellebuck to save the loose puck. Sitting there for a moment. And Hendricks has it back for Team USA. But Matt Hendricks has been a solid player for the U.S. in this tournament.
He's so proud to be named to the team. His first time playing for the U.S. and then named as captain was just a bonus for him. He plays hard. He's a good penalty killer. He's been a really good leader for the Americans and really one of the few veteran voices they have.
Now Sexton's lost his stick again. Sexton got a bad batch, I think. Now he picks it up. It's not broken. He just dropped it. And Smith goes back. Ties up Krejcik. Sexton back with it. Chaslova tied up there by Smith, and the puck is 200 feet away from where the Czechs needed to be. Voracek now picks it up. He's got Irad and Plakanec with him. Voracek drops for Irad, but the play's offside at the American line.
Strong play defensively at the blue line for the U.S. indeed. Seth Jones and Mike Riley stayed up on the blue line. And they were able to deny Voracek the entrance.
nights here in Prague, too, except for the penalty song. The penalty song has to go.
Just not enough of that.
Yeah.
Kind of hoping for a 0 penalty final, I got to be honest with you.
He needs surgery to get that thing removed from our minds. Now Claddle fans on a pass that puts it right in the tape of Eichel. In comes Jack Eichel with a chance. Now Eichel works back, shoots. Pavlik makes the stop. And Novotny plays it around for Hayda. And Eichel steals it again. Jack Eichel centers it. Nelson in, shoots, and Pavlik got just a piece of that. Nelson plays it across to Eichel. Looks down for Lewis. And Eichel drifts into the high slot. Lewis down to Nelson. Brock Nelson just fights off Jordan there. Stays on it. And picked up by Hayda.
Good shift for Eichel and Lewis and Brock Nelson. They melt a 45 seconds off the clock.
Now Nelson puts it back in deep, and the U.S. gets fresh legs back on the ice. And again, a steal by Lee. Czechs can't get on track here in the third period. Now Cervenka brings it ahead. He's got Coyle all over him. Picked up by Nekladel. Centers it. Samoka with a shot. That's wide. And Cervenka shaken up, makes his way back to the Czech bench. Vondrika spins back. Vondrika still with it. Of course, Saboka trying to kick it out. Vondrika. Back to Kolas with a shot blocked by Coyle. Vondrika centers it. Saboka had it knocked away by Gardner. And Kolas centers it. Simone winds in. Dominic Simone shoots, and Helbut knocks that away with his right arm. 6:45 to go here in the third. Simone drops. Nekladel shoots. That's way wide. Vondrika back on it. Vondrika sends it back, knocked away by Gardner, and Coyle has it. Softly sends it right down on goal so the U.S. can change without icing it. Nekladel up for Krukal, who chips it in. Simone goes in hard against Moses, and it's picked up by Hendrick. High in the air, the bouncing puck looking for Dylan Larkin. That was knocked away from him. And Krejcik brings it back. His long shot stopped by Helbut. And he'll hold on to that. 6:02 to go here in the third period. Just over 6 to go here in the third period. The United States with a 3-0 lead in the Czech Republic. Czechs beat the U.S. in the quarters last year, 4-3. Next year's tournament will be in Moscow and St. Petersburg in Russia.
See if your sense of direction's as good as it is there as it is here. It's been pretty impressive here. I think it's a little more complicated there. I'll put you to the task, because you know I can't find my way from the lobby to the front door.
I don't really have a choice, Ray, to be perfectly honest with you. Here's Urat with it. Up to Plekanec. Well, I will admit, not my first time to these cities, so.
That's okay. I could be here many times.
What a beautiful place, though. I mean, and to be honest, if you get a chance, if you're listening back in Canada, you get a chance to go to the World Championship. Next year's in Russia. The year after that, Paris and Cologne, Germany. A tremendous event in beautiful European city.
And it's just different. I mean, the games are different. The atmosphere's different. Everybody comes to them to have fun. They want their teams to win. They want their countries to do well. But my view, my first tournament as a broadcaster here, is that there's no venom to it. It's just, they did great. Awesome. And then we'll have fun. And if not, they'll have fun anyway. It's really been a fabulous tournament to be around.
Lewis fires that in for the U.S. Pavlik back to play it. Lewis knocks it down, and players on both these teams know their season's over tonight. Now a centering pass almost found Eichel. Nelson then knocks it down, and finally Jágr has it, but Lost that battle, and Jake Gardner fires it back in. 4:45 to go in the third.
U.S. with just 5 shots in the last 35 minutes. One of them, the huge Charlie Coyle goal at the end of the second period, but
Shots are 13-1. Czechs here in the third period. Czechs have 8 players from the NHL, 9 from the KHL. The future of that league is an open question, as now we've got Seth Jones jousting.
And Sobotka.
Sobotka's in there with him.
Those two might be going at it again next year if Sobotka returns to the St. Louis Blues.
And Cladel in there as well. Marcus Vinterborg, an experienced international official, who also worked in the NHL a couple of years ago, is going to send Sobotka and Jones off. Sobotka is a guy who got an arbitration award from St. Louis, got a bigger offer from Russia, so the Blues let him go. He played there last year, scored 10 goals in 53 games in Omsk after 9 goals the year before in St. Louis. Now Sobotka, if he wants to go back to the NHL, owes the Blues a year. At that contract, he got an arbitration.
So with the uncertainty around the KHL, it's something that he is looking at.
Extra penalty is going to go to Sobotka here. Oh, now they just posted Jones's penalty. So it looked like 5-on-4 from home. That's what Todd Richards thought, but now it's 4-on-4. And there are open questions about KHL teams, especially those that aren't based in Russia. Riga, in Latvia, Minsk, Belarus. The team here in Prague got to the KHL Championship 2 years ago and then ceased operation.
And if I'm the Czechs, I pull the goalie. It's 3-0. You would have a 5-on-4 power play in essence. What do you got to lose?
Kolak drops it back in the corner. Down to Cladel. And that pass by Cladel deflects and goes out of play with 3:41 to go. So this tournament, which began with the Czechs in a wild game against the Swedes, it trailed almost the whole game, took the lead late, 5-4, took a late penalty. The Swedes tied it up with under a minute to go, and then went into a shootout. The Czechs lost to Canada by a score of 6-3, then reeled off 5 consecutive wins before losing to Canada 2-0 in the semis yesterday.
Coming up on 6 periods without a goal.
Krejcik takes that return pass. Pavlik remains in the goal. 3.5 to go. Jágr pushed off the puck by Gardner.
That wasn't happening earlier in the tournament.
No. And Murphy looks ahead. Krejcik breaks it up as the U.S. changes.
Whoa, Jágr took like about a 15-second shift.
Jordan winds his way in. Ruzicka's not even looking at the Czech net, so Pavlik's going to stay there. And away comes Matt Hendricks, the U.S. captain. In, shoots, that was blocked, and that took a bite of Jakub Klepaš, who's going to limp his way back to the Czech bench.
He's had a tough tournament.
Oh, he got against Latvia as a penalty's coming to the U.S. to Brock Nelson. And Nelson touches up. Klepaš got hit twice into the boards, hurt his shoulder, and then came back in the game and got speared in the lower abdomen, we'll call it.
And he missed 5 games.
So Brock Nelson goes off for the trip. And now the Czechs will have a power play, and 2:42 to go.
So now it's a 5-on-3 power play, or rather a 4-on-3 power play. It looks like Pavlik is going to get into the bench, and it's going to be a 5-on-3. As you see where Klepaš blocked a shot, it wasn't on the pads. That one's going to leave a mark.
So the Czechs have called their timeout. And the face-off will be in the U.S. zone. Pavlik will remain on the bench. Yager sitting on the boards will make his way on along with Voracek, McCladel, and Vondrika. So as you said, in essence, a 5-on-3 power play for the Czechs.
And then it'll be 6-on-5 when the penalties are over. 6-on-4 rather.
In for the face-off against Arcobello. The face-off controlled by the Czechs. Here's Voracek with it. Jakub Voracek plays it down to Yager. Jaromir Yager throws that wide to the goal. Vondracek racing to it. Here's Vondrika in the corner. Works it behind the goal. Vondrika feeds back to Voracek. McCladel winds and shoots. That was blocked by Arcobello. And Justin Falk on his backhand plays it back down the ice. And now it's basically a 6-on-4 for the Czechs for a minute and a half. Just over 2 to go in the third period. McCladel drops it back to Voracek. Jakub Voracek winds in, throws it up for Sabotka, who knocks it down. Yager loose in the corner with it. And Jones has it. Seth Jones bangs it back out to center ice. Now McCladel on it. In for Vondrika. Yager standing in front, Buchanan's with it. Vondrika. 90 seconds to go in the third. Bonino on it now. Buchanan steps into him. And McCladel feeds it wide. Voracek shoots, and Vondrika got a tip on that and knocked it wide. Now it's centered. Voracek plays it back. McCladel with a shot. And that's on Bonino's stick in half. 20 seconds to go on the Czech power play. Sabotka looks back in front. That's tipped. And Seth Jones rings it around and back down the ice inside a minute to go. Czech fans are up and clapping to salute their team. The tournament's going to end with a thud as it's fired in by Novotny. Now Nelson steps back on for the U.S. And the puck chips over the glass and out with 35 seconds to go in the third period.
The U.S. has one shot on goal here in the third period. Connor Hellebuck has had a tremendous afternoon. Jaromir Jagr will finish his bronze medal game on the bench. A disappointing end to the tournament for the host Czechs, but for the Americans, a perhaps dreamed upon bronze medal.
And Hellebuck makes the stop there on Irak.
Their team seemed to be too inexperienced, too young. The talk was about the players not here, not the players that are here, but they did a terrific job. Todd Richards did an excellent job behind the bench, utilizing the entire group of players, and they should be really proud of this bronze medal they're 20 seconds away from.
And Novotny turned away by Hellebuck. And Brock Nelson knocks it out. Klepish flips it ahead, 10 seconds to go. Arcobello shooting for the empty net will miss. And an icing call with 5 seconds to go. And you wonder, with the World Cup coming next year, how many of these young Americans have made an impact in international hockey to draw the attention of USA hockey.
Well, we're getting a look at some of them. You would think Justin Falk would be involved in they're going to put Jagr back on the ice for the last face-off. This will likely be the last time he's on the ice in the uniform of the Czech Republic, and the fans have just noticed he's out there.
Drop back to Kolash. Shoots it towards the goal. Hellebuck makes the stop as time expires. The United States wins a bronze medal for the second time in 3 years with a 3-0 shutout win over the Czech Republic as Connor Hellebuck records the shutout, stopping all 38 shots he faces. The Czechs will be fourth, the Americans third, the top two spots left to be decided. Canada and Russia will play for gold tonight. And for Vladimir Ruzicka, a tournament that looks so promising in the middle. They beat Switzerland in a shootout to close out the round robin. Beat the Finns in the quarters and then ran up against a tough Canadian team in the semis. But for the Czechs, there will not be a medal on home ice in Prague in 2015. And then we'll now have the player of the game presentations and then the presentation of the bronze medals to Team USA. And don't think for a moment that bronze doesn't mean a lot to some of these young men.
What an accomplishment. I mean, even to come into here today, that you would think that the Czechs playing at home would have more energy and find an early initial push, and yet it was the Americans with a couple of goals, Bonino and Lewis in the first period, and then they hung on Connor Hellebuck in the third period in a well-deserved 3-0 win.
By the way, the world rankings will be put together the day after the tournament tomorrow, and they will then set the pools for next year. Sweden finishes 5th, Finland 6th. The two relegated teams are Austria and Slovenia. Austria relegated in brutal fashion. Lost 10-1 to Canada, but then watched France play Germany. The only way Austria could have been relegated would be if France had beaten Latvia in overtime or a shootout. And here's the fans saluting Jaromir Jagr.
The best players of the team will be awarded with the watch by Tissot, the official timekeeper of the 2015 International Ice Hockey Federation Ice Hockey World Championship. The best player award selected by each team will be presented by the president of KHL, Mr. Dmitry Chernyshenko, and also the representative of Škoda Auto, Miss Lucie Shedivkova. The best player of Team Czech Republic is player number 14, Tomáš Plekanec.
Tomáš Plekanec, who arrived here on Friday, played for the weekend. Turns out his team here had trouble scoring as well.
The best player of Team USA is player number 13, Nick Bonino.
So Bonino has scored the first goal for the U.S. Added an assist. Is the player of the game for the United States. Almost tripled the stage there.
So these are two best players of the bronze medal game. And now the commemorative medals for the on-ice officials of the bronze medal game will now be presented by the
Marcus
International Ice Hockey
Vinterberg and
Federation
Yuri Ron will receive their
Mr. Henrik Back-Nielsen.
medals for officiating a medal round game. By the way, the gold medal game will be refereed by Tobias Berli of Switzerland and Vladimir Sidler of the Czech Republic.
Now, please welcome the referees Marcus Vinterberg and Yuri Ron, and the linesmen Jimmy Damen and Gleb Lazarev.
Much like the National Hockey League, the officials are graded by supervisors and get medal round work based on their performance. This tournament's been tightly but well officiated. You can say, well, he's a linesman, not a goal scorer.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the bronze medals will be presented by member of the board of Škoda Auto, Mr. Bohdan Vojnar, the International Ice Hockey Federation Council member, Mr. Tony Rossi, and International Ice Hockey Federation Council member, Mr. Henrik Back-Nielsen.
Now now the bronze medals handed out to Team USA. On the left is Tony Rossi from USA Hockey. One of the men to hand them out.
The 2015 International Ice Hockey Federation Ice Hockey World Championship.
And as you might expect in the Czech Republic, the home of Crystal,
United States of
the medals
America.
made up primarily of their prime export.
Beautiful looking medal.
And the players now can come for the medals.
And the first up to receive his bronze medal is Jack Eichel. He's already been a gold medalist at the under-18s. You got to think he's got a long career ahead of him playing for USA Hockey. Charlie Cross,
what a terrific tournament Eichel had. Trevor Lewis, one of the 3 best U.S. forwards. Dylan Larkin's got a decision coming up here in the next couple of weeks, I guess, whether he'll return to the University of Michigan or turn pro with Detroit.
And so we've talked about this before, Ray. The strange thing that'll happen here is that these players winning a bronze will be happier than the guys who get the silver 5 hours from now.
Because you win.
You win to get the bronze, and you get silver, you've lost your last game.
I've got a couple of silvers from this tournament, and I don't really remember getting them. I remember losing the game. I don't remember getting the medal.
But ask anyone who's played in one, winning a bronze medal game is far, far better than losing it. The regret you have for losing a bronze medal game goes on a long time.
23, Matt Hendricks.
Now the bronze medal plaque will go to Matt Hendricks, native of Blaine, Michigan. So a second medal in 3 years for the U.S., the first time in 52 years that the United States has won 2 medals in 3 years.
And now, I invite you to please stand up for the national anthem of the United States of America. Dámy a pánové, prosím, vyslechněte hymnu vítězného týmu, hymnu Spojených států amerických. We're now waiting because of technical fault. Prosím, omluvte technickou chybu. Za chvíli hymna zazní.
The 2015 IIHF World Hockey Champion. The 2015 IIHF World Hockey Championship from Prague and Ostrava, Czech Republic is brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Red, white, blue, and bronze. Team USA has won the bronze medal at the World Hockey Championship. The Czech Republic saluting their fans. Great fans that they were, but not so good for the Czech Republic today. Connor Hellebuyck, 2 days away from his 22nd birthday with a shutout.
Incredible stuff for somebody who's going to turn 22 in just 2 days. Played in St. John's, an American Hockey League All-Star. Finishes this tournament with a .137, .948 save percentage. Those are best amongst any goaltender. He's 6'4". He's big even on his pads.
5th round draft pick. Looks like a steal so far.
And with the Winnipeg Jets. So they have Pavlik, they have Hellebuyck, and 2 shutouts and 1 here on the weekend to win the bronze medal. Wow, that was all special for USA.
How about the Czechs, though? And we got to say something about Jágr. When he began this tournament in 1990, 25 years ago, there were only 8 players in the United States, and they were just born. They were in diapers. That's how young Team USA is. They win the bronze medal. An hour and a half from now, we're on the air on TSN for our pregame show at 2 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific time. Then at 2:30, 1, 4, and 5 for Canada, Russia. Need we say any more? Gold medal game. 3-0 the final. Team USA has won the bronze medal. The Czech Republic, in front of their boisterous fans, had them hopping, but couldn't find the net. Connor Hellebuyck, what a performance. Jack Eichel was sensational. We'll see you in an hour and a half, folks, at the Worlds.
Canada-Russia featuring Crosby and Ovechkin is on the way. But first, this is TSN, The Reporters. Hi, welcome. I'm Dave Hodge. Happy Victoria Day weekend to you. Let me identify the reporters. They are Dave Naylor, Michael Farber, and Steve Simmons. And with their approval and yours, we will get started. Before you say ho-hum, Canada's cruising to a gold medal finish at the World Hockey Championship. Stop and realize that Canada is without a world title since 2007, hasn't won a medal of any kind since 2009. It'll be gold or silver this time in Prague after Canada's 2-0 semifinal win over the host country. Still to come here on TSN, Canada versus Russia, to which ho-hum has never applied. Following the long-awaited Wells report and the NFL's decision to suspend Tom Brady for 4 games, much has been said about Deflategate. There is plenty more to come. Brady